Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered why some of the most remarkable transformations happen behind closed doors in moments unobserved by others? There's a profound energy that lies in silence, a power that transcends words, a commitment that audience, and a journey that becomes sacred in the absence of attention. Today, let's explore what it truly means to work hard in silence and to let your success make the sound. Embrace silence as your sanctuary of focus and growth. In the quiet, away from the noise and distractions of the external world, we find a space to connect with something more profound within ourselves. It's in the silence that we begin to strip away the superficial layers of expectations, judgments, and pressures that often cloud our clarity. This silence isn't just an absence of noise, it's an intentional retreat, a place where we turn our attention inward and allow our thoughts, our dreams, and our goals to surface without interference. In a world that often values the loudest voices and constant activity, the choice to be silent and inwardly focused becomes a powerful act of rebellion. It's a way of reclaiming our energy from the trivial and directing it towards something meaningful and transformational. When we step into the silent sanctuary, we're giving ourselves permission to truly examine our intentions. Why are we doing what we do? Are we driven by genuine passion, or are we merely chasing external validation and approval? Silence gives us the space to ask ourselves these essential questions. In that solitude, we connect with a deeper purpose, one that isn't swayed by the opinions or judgments of others. This process might feel uncomfortable initially, as we're forced to confront our own fears, insecurities, and uncertainties. But in facing these inner doubts, we grow. We begin to understand that true strength and resilience are not found in the noise and distractions of the outside world, but within the depths of our own silence. In silence, we create a space for focus. Focus is the bedrock of achievement. It is something that so many struggle to hold on to in the constant barrage of modern life. Every notification, every piece of news, every opinion that we encounter throughout our day fragments our attention, pulling us away from what truly matters. Silence becomes our ally in reclaiming that focus. It's in those quiet moments that we allow ourselves to engage fully with the task at hand. Without distraction, our minds can reach deeper levels of concentration, and we're able to pour our energy into our work with undivided attention. In these moments, progress accelerates. Every action becomes purposeful, every decision more aligned with our vision. Embracing silence also requires a deep sense of self-discipline. It's easy to seek comfort in the familiar distractions, to avoid the sometimes uncomfortable reality of our own. But when we commit to working in silence, we cultivate an inner discipline that strengthens over time. We learn to resist the urge to seek validation, to announce every step of our journey to the world. Instead, we keep our focus on the process, trusting that our dedication and hard work will speak for themselves in the end. This discipline shapes us, building a foundation of mental strength and resilience. It's not just about what we're working on, it's about who we're becoming in the process. In silence, we also grow. Growth isn't always about big, loud changes. It's often about the subtle shifts that happen within. Every time we sit with our thoughts, every time we choose focus over distraction, we are growing. We're becoming more attuned to our goals, more aligned with our values, more resilient in the face of obstacles. In the stillness, we develop a quiet confidence, a knowing that doesn't need external validation. This confidence is unshakable because it is rooted in self-awareness and self-trust. When we grow in silence, our progress may go unnoticed by others, but it's undeniably real. Choosing to embrace silence is, in itself, a journey. It's a journey that requires courage, patience, and persistence. It's a journey that requires us to let go of the need for recognition and to trust in the process of steady, quiet progress. Every time we return to that silent sanctuary within ourselves, we are affirming our commitment to growth and transformation. We are declaring that our journey is worth pursuing, even if no one else is watching or applauding. And in that choice, in that commitment, we find a power that transcends the need for validation and recognition. Cultivating an inner drive that doesn't rely on external validation is about building a relationship with yourself that is rooted in trust, resilience, and self-belief. In a world where so much of our identity can seem tied to how others see us, detaching from this need for approval becomes one of the most powerful things we can do. This inner drive isn't fleeting. It doesn't waver depending on the opinions, feedback, or praise we receive from others. Instead, it's a commitment that we make to ourselves, a personal journey guided by a vision that resonates deeply within us, regardless of whether anyone else understands or approves. This kind of drive isn't loud or showy, but it's steady and persistent, carrying us through the inevitable challenges and obstacles we face along the way. At its core, inner drive is about knowing who you are and what you want on a fundamental level. It's fueled by an understanding of what truly matters to you, what lights you up, and what you feel compelled to pursue. When we are grounded in this knowledge, we don't need the opinions of others to validate our choices. We don't need to constantly share our progress or seek reassurance that we're on the right path. Our journey becomes more about fulfilling our own potential and honoring the dreams and values that feel genuine to us. This drive allows us to put our heads down, focus, and continue pushing forward even when the world isn't watching. Learning to cultivate this kind of inner motivation requires a shift in mindset. It involves letting go of the stories we tell ourselves about what success looks like based on society's standards. It's a commitment to redefine success in a way that is personal and meaningful. True success, when we look at it from this perspective, isn't measured by accolades or applause, but by the satisfaction of knowing we are growing, evolving, and moving towards something that feels authentic. This approach shifts our focus from seeking approval to seeking alignment with our own values and vision, giving us a sense of freedom and empowerment that can't be found in external praise. And inner drive doesn't mean we are oblivious to the world around us or immune to feedback. It simply means that feedback doesn't define us. When we are anchored in our purpose, feedback becomes a tool for refinement, not a measurement of our worth. We take what's useful and discard the rest, using it to strengthen our path rather than dictate it. In this way, our inner drive acts as a filter, helping us to navigate the noise and stay focused on what truly matters. It reminds us that our worth and success are not dependent on external opinions, but on the growth, dedication, and resilience we bring to our journey. The development of inner drive often requires us to practice self-compassion and patience. It's easy to feel discouraged or to doubt ourselves when our achievements go unnoticed, but in those moments, we learn to become our own source of motivation. We learn to celebrate our small wins, to acknowledge our progress, and to keep moving forward even when no one else seems to care. This quiet confidence builds slowly as we continuously choose to show up, driven not by the promise of recognition, but by the satisfaction of knowing we're giving our best. It's in these moments of silent commitment that we realize our journey is about more than just the outcome, it's about who we are becoming in the process. Inner drive also teaches us resilience. When we are no longer driven by the need for approval, we become less affected by setbacks, criticism, and failure. We develop a stronger, more resilient mindset because we know that our efforts are fueled by a vision that can't be taken away by a single setback or moment of doubt. This resilience enables us to navigate challenges with greater ease, viewing them as opportunities to grow rather than as obstacles to our self-worth. We learn to see failure not as a reflection of our value, but as a stepping stone on our path, something that shapes us, strengthens us, and makes us more capable of achieving our goals. As we cultivate this inner drive, we may find that it feels liberating to operate without the need for recognition. Our actions are driven by a deeper sense of purpose, and we find fulfillment in the work itself rather than in the response it generates. This fulfillment is lasting and profound because it's not contingent on the transient nature of external approval. It allows us to pursue our dreams without fear of judgment or the need to impress others, freeing us to create, grow, and contribute authentically. This quiet, powerful drive becomes our foundation, guiding us with a clarity and purpose that doesn't require validation, but rather thrives on the strength of our commitment to ourselves and our journey. True transformation is achieved in quiet determination. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's rarely something that's brought the world to see. Real transformation begins with a subtle shift, a decision made in the stillness of our own thoughts, a commitment to ourselves that doesn't require an audience. This is the kind of transformation that comes from within, powered by a quiet resolve to change, to grow, to become something more than we were yesterday. Unlike the flashy, quick-fix solutions that promise instant results, true transformation is a slow and deliberate process, requiring patience, persistence, and an unyielding dedication to the vision we hold for ourselves. When we choose quiet determination as our path, we step into a space of intentionality. This means that each day, every action we take, no matter how small, is aligned with the larger goal we have set for ourselves. The transformation doesn't come from grand gestures or sudden shifts, but from the daily commitment to show up even when progress seems invisible. We may not see immediate results, and others may not notice the work we are putting in, but that doesn't deter us. We understand that real change is built through consistency, through the accumulation of countless small actions over time. In these quiet moments of dedication, we lay the foundation for profound growth. This kind of transformation requires us to trust in the process. It's easy to get discouraged when results don't appear right away or when the journey seems more difficult than anticipated. But when we are fueled by quiet determination, we develop a resilience that keeps us going even in the face of setbacks. We come to see challenges as opportunities for growth, as essential parts of the journey that shape us into the person we are becoming. Every obstacle becomes a lesson, every setback a chance to strengthen our resolve. Quiet determination teaches us that the journey itself is just as important as the destination, that the experiences we gain along the way are what ultimately allow us to transform. In our pursuit of true transformation, we also learn the importance of self-reflection. In the silence, we have the opportunity to examine our actions, to evaluate our progress, and to make adjustments when needed. This self-reflection is a powerful tool because it allows us to stay connected to our purpose and to make sure we are still aligned with our goals. Instead of seeking validation or approval from others, we turn inward and trust our own judgment. We become our own source of accountability, guiding ourselves with a sense of integrity and self-respect. This practice of self-reflection strengthens our commitment to growth and ensures that our transformation is authentic and deeply rooted. Quiet determination also gives us a certain kind of freedom. When we are no longer focused on proving ourselves to others or seeking external recognition, we can move through life with a sense of ease and purpose. We become less concerned with what others think and more focused on what feels right for us. This freedom allows us to pursue our goals without distraction, to stay true to our vision without being swayed by outside opinions. It's a liberating way to live, one where our motivation comes from within and our satisfaction is derived from knowing we are on a path that feels meaningful. As we continue on this path, we begin to understand that true transformation is not about perfection or reaching some ultimate state of success. It's about becoming more attuned to who we are, more connected to our values, and more willing to grow in ways that matter to us. Quiet determination allows us to embrace this journey, to accept that transformation is a lifelong process rather than a single moment. We start to see ourselves not just as individuals working toward a goal, but as evolving beings who are constantly learning, adapting, and expanding. This mindset shifts our focus from the end result to the continuous journey of becoming. The beauty of quiet determination is that it allows us to transform without the need for recognition or applause. The work we are doing is for ourselves, and that makes it deeply personal and powerful. When we are driven by this kind of resolve, we are not influenced by external pressures or expectations. Instead, we are motivated by a desire to fulfill our own potential, to see just how much we are capable of when we commit fully to our growth. This kind of transformation is enduring because it is rooted in our own values and desires, not in the fleeting approval of others. Quiet determination teaches us patience, resilience, and a respect for the journey of change. It reminds us that transformation is not a destination, but a continual process of self-discovery and growth. Each step we take, each choice we make adds to the tapestry of who we are becoming. It's in these quiet, uncelebrated moments that the real work is done, where the most meaningful change takes place. As we cultivate this quiet resolve, we find a strength within ourselves that can't be shaken by outside forces. We come to understand that true transformation is an inside job, one that is built in silence, sustained by determination, and ultimately expressed through the way we live our lives. Silence shields your dreams, protecting them from distractions. In a world filled with noise, constant opinions, and endless interruptions, silence becomes a powerful tool for anyone on a mission. When we choose to keep our dreams in the quiet, away from prying eyes and unsolicited advice, we're gaining a space where they can grow without interference. This silence isn't about secrecy, but about sanctuary. It's a way to create a boundary around the things that matter most, to shield our ambitions from unpredictable forces that can derail us. When we protect our dreams within the shield, they remain pure, unaffected by the doubts or skepticism of others. They become our own, untouched by the expectations and standards imposed by the outside world. In the beginning stages of any dream, it's especially important to keep it guarded. Dreams are delicate in their infancy, vulnerable to doubt, fear, and criticism. When we share our goals too early, they can easily be swayed by the opinions of others. Even the most well-intentioned feedback can plant seeds of uncertainty, making us question our path and our abilities. But when we allow our dreams to grow in silence, we give them the space to develop roots, to become strong enough to stand on their own. This quiet incubation period is essential because it allows us to build a foundation of confidence and commitment before facing the inevitable challenges that lie ahead. By choosing silence, we're also choosing to trust ourselves. In silence, we don't rely on the validation or approval of others to know that our dreams are worthwhile. Instead, we turn inward, listening to our own intuition and allowing our vision to guide us. This act of self-trust is a profound step toward personal empowerment. It teaches us that we are capable of determining our own path, of making choices that align with our values and aspirations. We learn to honor our own voice above all others, building an inner strength that will serve us well when faced with obstacles. This trust becomes a kind of armor protecting us from the negativity and doubt that might otherwise hold us back. Silence also fosters a deep sense of focus. When we keep our dreams close and quiet, we're less likely to be distracted by comparisons or the pressure to prove ourselves. We can concentrate fully on the work that needs to be done without feeling the need to update the world on our progress. This freedom from external validation allows us to stay aligned with our purpose, to remain committed to our goals, and to pour our energy into the actions that will move us forward. In this focused state, we're able to work more effectively, making steady progress without being sidetracked by the noise of external opinions. Protecting our dreams in silence also makes them feel more sacred. When we treat our goals as something private and cherished, we're acknowledging their importance in our lives. This respect for our dreams reinforces our commitment, reminding us that they are worth pursuing even when the journey gets tough. By keeping them shielded, we create a mental and emotional space where we can return to our vision, reconnect with our purpose, and recharge our motivation. The sanctuary of silence becomes a refuge, a place where our dreams remain alive and vibrant, untouched by the doubts and distractions of the outside world. In this silent space, we are free to dream as big and bold as we want. We can imagine possibilities without feeling limited by what others might think. This freedom to dream without restriction is essential for growth and innovation. When our dreams are shielded from external judgment, they can expand, evolve, and transform into something truly extraordinary. We give ourselves permission to explore new ideas, take risks, and push beyond our comfort zones. This unrestrained dreaming fuels our creativity, inspiring us to pursue goals that might have seemed impossible if we were constantly seeking approval. Silence then becomes a powerful form of protection, allowing our dreams to flourish undisturbed. It's a space where we can refine our vision, test our commitment, and strengthen our resolve. By keeping our dreams shielded, we're not hiding from the world, we're preparing ourselves to face it with confidence and purpose. We're creating a strong foundation, one that will support us as we move forward, regardless of the challenges we encounter. In this quiet space, we cultivate resilience, patience, and an unwavering belief in our own abilities. We're allowing ourselves the time and space to become the person who can bring our dreams to life on our own terms and in our own time. Choosing to remain low-key keeps the pressure off, allowing us to work in an environment free from the weight of expectations and the scrutiny that often comes with visibility. When we keep our ambitions quiet and our progress out of the spotlight, we're able to maintain a level of freedom that supports growth, experimentation, and resilience. Staying low-key isn't about hiding, it's about finding a rhythm that lets us thrive without the distractions of constant comparison or the need to keep up with anyone else's timeline. It's a commitment to our own pace, a promise to ourselves to focus on the work and the journey rather than on how it looks to others. This choice allows us to fully engage in the process, to immerse ourselves in the details, and to build a foundation that's strong, sustainable, and fully our own. Working quietly creates a unique space for innovation and growth. Without the pressure to report our progress or justify our choices to others, we're free to take risks, make mistakes, and adjust our course as we learn. This flexibility is essential because in any meaningful pursuit, there will be moments of uncertainty and trial. By staying low-key, we remove the additional burden of feeling like every step has to be a success, freeing ourselves to experiment, to grow, and to learn from every experience. This freedom to move without the fear of judgment allows us to approach our work with an open mind, seeing each challenge as an opportunity rather than a threat to our reputation. Remaining low-key also gives us the chance to surprise both ourselves and others. When we're not constantly sharing our plans and progress, we're cultivating an element of mystery, a quiet resilience that builds until it's ready to be revealed on our terms. This approach can be incredibly powerful because it allows us to work without the distraction of external opinions, keeping our energy focused on the work itself. When we do eventually share our progress, it's often with a depth and confidence that only comes from dedicating ourselves fully to the process. There's a unique power in revealing our accomplishments. When they're complete rather than in progress, it signals not just achievement, but mastery, a result of focused effort undistracted by outside influence. Staying low-key also helps us manage our own expectations. When we're not driven by the need to impress or seek approval, we're able to stay more grounded in our goals and progress. We can set our own benchmarks for success, measuring our growth by internal standards rather than by external applause. This self-defined progress allows us to celebrate the small victories along the way, recognizing each step forward without the pressure of having to meet anyone else's standards. This internal validation becomes a steady source of motivation, reminding us that our journey is about personal growth and fulfillment, not about competing or comparing ourselves to others. In choosing to keep our work and goals private, we're also allowing ourselves time to adjust, recalibrate, and make changes without the pressure of public scrutiny. Working in this low-key manner gives us the opportunity to refine our skills, to build knowledge, and to develop resilience in a safe space where failure is simply a part of the learning process. When there's no audience watching our every move, we become less afraid to take on challenges that push us out of our comfort zone. We learn to embrace failure as a stepping stone, to see setbacks as valuable learning moments, and to use every experience as a building block toward our ultimate goals. This freedom from scrutiny helps us build confidence and adaptability, qualities that are essential for long-term success. Choosing a low-key path also fosters a sense of authenticity. Without the constant spotlight, we're able to make choices based on what feels right for us rather than what will look good to others. This authentic approach allows us to align our actions with our values, making sure that every step we take is a true reflection of our aspirations and priorities. By remaining low-key, we're giving ourselves permission to follow our intuition, to make choices that resonate with our vision, and to stay true to our purpose. This authenticity becomes a guiding force, helping us stay grounded in what really matters, even when the path gets challenging. There's a profound strength in staying low-key, in allowing ourselves to work without the pressure of constant visibility. It gives us a chance to build something real, something lasting, without the interference of outside expectations. By keeping our heads down and focusing on our work, we're creating a journey that's unique, fulfilling, and entirely our own. This quiet determination allows us to grow, to build resilience, and to become the best version of ourselves without the distraction of public opinion or external validation. The journey is just as important as the destination. And by staying low-key, we're giving ourselves the space to enjoy every step, to embrace every lesson, and to achieve our goals with a sense of fulfillment that can only come from working quietly, steadily, and with unwavering focus. When we work in silence, we retain control over our goals and ambitions. Silence creates a personal, sacred space where our dreams belong solely to us, untainted by outside influences, free from the expectations or critiques of others. This sense of control is essential as it allows us to keep our purpose clear and undiluted. By maintaining this privacy, we set boundaries around our goals, protecting them from external pressures that might push us off course. In this quiet space, we gain a deeper understanding of what drives us, aligning our actions with our inner motivations rather than the opinions or judgments of the world. Working in silence grants us a sense of ownership over the process. The goals we set and the paths we choose are ours, and so are the decisions we make along the way. Without the constant input or expectations from others, we have the freedom to shape our journey according to what feels right for us. This autonomy is empowering. It gives us the confidence to take responsibility for our progress and the outcomes of our efforts. It teaches us self-reliance, reminding us that we don't need validation or guidance from others to know we're on the right path. Instead, we cultivate a strong inner compass, one that leads us toward our goals without distraction or deviation. This silence also allows us to develop a deeper sense of resilience. When we choose to keep our goals private, we're making a conscious decision to rely on ourselves for motivation and discipline. We learn to stand firm in the face of challenges without seeking reassurance from others or sharing our struggles for sympathy or encouragement. This self-reliance builds a unique kind of strength, one that's internal rather than dependent on the support or approval of others. In this quiet space, we become our own source of inspiration, developing a mindset that keeps us going even when the journey gets tough or progress feels slow. We build a foundation of inner resilience and unshakable determination that comes from trusting ourselves fully. In the silence, we also gain the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them without judgment. When our work and goals are not in the public eye, we're less afraid of failure because there's no audience watching or waiting for results. This privacy provides us with a safe space to experiment, to take risks, and to grow without fear of being judged. In this environment, mistakes become valuable lessons rather than setbacks. We learn to see them as opportunities for growth, refining our skills and adapting our strategies with each experience. This freedom to learn in private allows us to approach challenges with curiosity rather than anxiety, to see failure as a natural part of the journey rather than a source of shame. Silence also allows us to remain patient with ourselves and the process. When we work without the constant feedback of others, we're less likely rush or force results to meet someone else's expectation. We learn to trust the timing of our journey, understanding that meaningful progress often happens slowly and gradually. This patience becomes a powerful tool, allowing us to embrace each step without the pressure to prove ourselves or meet an arbitrary deadline. We're able to focus on quality rather than speed, on depth rather than superficial achievements. This approach not only leads to more lasting success, but also helps us develop a greater appreciation for the process itself, for the growth and transformation that occur along the way. The quiet space we create through silence also fosters a strong sense of clarity. When we're not constantly sharing our progress or seeking validation, we're able to think more clearly, to make decisions that align with our vision rather than the opinions of others. This clarity allows us to stay focused on our goals, to avoid distractions, and to keep our energy directed toward what truly matters. We become less influenced by trends, by the opinions of others, or by fleeting desires, and more committed to our long-term vision. In this clarity, we find a sense of purpose that keeps us grounded and centered, even when the journey gets challenging. Choosing to work in silence ultimately leads to a more fulfilling journey. Without the pressure of constant visibility, we're able to enjoy each step, to find satisfaction in the small victories and progress we make along the way. We come to appreciate the moments of growth, the lessons learned, and the skills developed in a way that feels deeply personal and meaningful. This journey becomes more than just a means to an end. It becomes a transformative process, a path of self-discovery and personal development that shapes us into the person we aspire to be. Working in silence allows us to experience this journey fully without the distractions of external validation or the pressure to constantly prove ourselves. In this quiet space, we develop a unique sense of fulfillment. The work we do is not for applause or approval. It's for our own growth, our own satisfaction. This internal motivation fuels us in a way that external validation never could. We come to see our goals not as something to show the world, but as something to enrich our own lives, to bring us a sense of purpose and fulfillment that's deeply personal. In the end, this silent dedication leads to achievements that feel truly our own, accomplishments that are not only successful but meaningful, because they are rooted in our own vision and built with our own hands. When you work hard in silence, you are in control of your narrative. Without the need to constantly share updates or seek validation, you are free to define your journey on your own terms. This means that your progress, setbacks, and victories remain entirely yours, giving you the space to learn, adapt, and grow without interference. The quiet allows you to shape your story with intention, focusing on what truly matters to you rather than the expectations or judgments of others. In this way, silence is a powerful tool. It's not just about keeping things private, but about creating an environment where you are the one who decides how, when, and why you share your sense. You're building your path in a way that reflects your values and priorities, rather than bending to the pressures or opinions of those around you. In controlling your narrative, you have the freedom to work at a pace that aligns with your own rhythms, rather than trying to keep up with someone else's timeline. This autonomy gives you the flexibility to immerse yourself in the process, to take the time you need to develop skills, build resilience, and gain experience without the pressure to produce quick results. Every achievement becomes a reflection of your hard work, persistence, and commitment, rather than an attempt to impress others. This sense of ownership over your journey allows you to set your own standards of success, valuing depth and substance over superficial accomplishment. You're not distracted by the need to constantly prove yourself. Instead, you're focused on creating something real, something that has meaning and purpose beyond just recognition. Silence also enables you to manage setbacks in a way that builds inner strength. When you work without an audience, you have the freedom to stumble, make mistakes, and course correct without fear of judgment. Failures become private learning experiences, moments of growth rather than public disappointments. This space to grow in private is invaluable because it allows you to bounce back stronger each time. Instead of feeling pressure to explain yourself or justify your actions, you can reflect, learn, and adjust on your own terms. You are in control of how you respond to challenges, building resilience that's rooted in self-confidence rather than the need for external reassurance. Controlling your narrative also means that you get to decide how you frame your progress. When you work quietly, you're less likely to be influenced by external standards or comparisons. You're not trying to measure up to anyone else's version of success. Instead, you're focused on your own growth and development. This perspective shift is powerful because it allows you to remain committed to your path, even when the progress seems slow or the challenges feel overwhelming. You're not distracted by others' opinions or the pressure to perform for an audience. You're fully invested in your own journey. This focus allows you to see your accomplishments as milestones on a personal journey rather than as achievements that need validation from others. Silence creates a protective layer around your goals, shielding them from the noise and distractions of the outside world. This space allows you to keep your vision clear and undiluted, focusing on what truly matters to you without getting sidetracked. You are in control of your story, which means you get to decide what's worth sharing and what's best kept private. This sense of control fosters a deep sense of purpose, giving you the clarity to pursue your goals with intention and integrity. You're not swayed by trends, opinions, or expectations. Instead, you're guided by a strong internal compass that keeps you grounded and focused on what you set out to achieve. When you choose to work in silence, you're also choosing to cultivate patience and perseverance. Without the constant need to show results, you're able to stay dedicated to the process, understanding that meaningful progress takes time. You learn to appreciate the journey, finding fulfillment in each step rather than in the validation of others. This patience strengthens your resolve, teaching you to trust the process and to believe in your own abilities, regardless of how long it takes to reach your goals. In this way, silence becomes a source of empowerment, reminding you that you are capable of achieving great things, not for recognition, but for the satisfaction of knowing you did it on your own terms. Controlling your narrative also allows you to surprise yourself and others when you choose to share your accomplishments. By working quietly, you're building something substantial without the distraction of external opinions. When the time finally comes to reveal your progress, it speaks for itself, demonstrating the power of dedication, discipline, and consistency. The impact is often greater because your achievements are real, earned through hard work rather than through the need to prove anything along the way. This quiet dedication not only enhances the quality of your work, but also deepens your sense of fulfillment, knowing that you've built something meaningful and lasting. In the end, silence allows you to own every aspect of your journey, from the challenges to the victories. It's a reminder that you are in control of your path, that your story is yours to write, and that you have the power to create something extraordinary, not for applause, but for the fulfillment of knowing that you stayed true to yourself. Working hard in silence gives you the freedom to focus on what really matters, the strength to overcome obstacles without distraction, and the satisfaction of knowing that every achievement is a testament to your own effort, commitment, and resilience. Mastering discipline requires a deep commitment to one itself, a willingness to put in the work day in and day out, regardless of who's watching or acknowledging the effort. When we develop the ability to stay focused and committed without needing external validation, we tap into a strength that goes beyond motivation and taps into resilience. Discipline is about showing up consistently, even on the days when enthusiasm wanes, when progress feels slow, or when distractions are tempting. It's the ability to keep moving forward, to stay on course without getting caught up in temporary emotions or external pressures. This type of discipline, cultivated quietly and steadily, becomes an internal muscle that supports us through every challenge, a tool that empowers us to stay dedicated to our vision and see it through to fruition. Working hard in silence sharpens this self-discipline. Without the need to constantly share or seek validation from others, we're left with just ourselves, our goals, and our commitment. This space removes any dependency on outside motivation, forcing us to become our own source of encouragement. We learn to rely on our own internal drive to find satisfaction in the progress we make for ourselves, rather than in the recognition we receive from others. This builds a powerful sense of self-reliance. We become individuals who can depend on ourselves to stay the course, who can persist without the need for applause. It's an empowering feeling knowing that you don't need anyone else to keep you going. You are fully capable of motivating yourself to put in the work, no matter how challenging the path may be. The practice of working in silence reinforces discipline by removing the distractions of comparison. When we're not focused on sharing our journey, we're not as concerned with how our progress measures up against others. This quietness allows us to set our own pace, to work according to our own timeline, rather than being influenced by the speed at which others are moving. Discipline in this context becomes a personal commitment to our own growth, rooted in the understanding that real progress is a result of steady, consistent effort. We learn to ignore the noise, to resist the urge to constantly measure up, and to focus solely on doing the work that matters to us. This mindset shifts our focus from quick gains to meaningful achievements, from external comparisons to internal fulfillment. In choosing discipline, we also cultivate patience. Working hard without expecting immediate rewards teaches us the value of delayed gratification, an essential part of long-term success. Silence and patience go hand in hand, as both require us to keep pushing forward without seeing immediate results. This delayed gratification strengthens our resolve, helping us understand that true success is rarely immediate. It's the result of countless hours of practice, learning, and growth. By mastering discipline in silence, we prepare ourselves to handle setbacks with grace, to stay resilient in the face of challenges, and to keep moving forward even when progress seems invisible. This patience is a byproduct of discipline, a quiet strength that allows us to stay focused on the big picture without getting discouraged by temporary obstacles. Working quietly helps us to build a foundation that is sturdy and sustainable. Each day of disciplined effort adds another brick to this foundation, creating a structure that is strong enough to withstand the trials and challenges that inevitably arise. This approach teaches us to appreciate the journey, to find pride and satisfaction in the small, steady steps we take each day. We come to understand that every bit of work we put in, every sacrifice we make, contributes to something larger, something meaningful. The discipline teaches us to respect the process, to see each task as a vital part of our growth, and to recognize that true success is built gradually over time. Silence also amplifies the impact of our discipline when we eventually reach our goals. When we finally choose to share our achievements, they carry a sense of depth and credibility that can only come from consistent, disciplined effort. There's a powerful authenticity to accomplishments that were earned quietly through dedication rather than performance. This authenticity speaks volumes, showcasing not only the outcome, but also the integrity and resilience it took to get there. People recognize the strength it takes to work hard in silence. And when we finally reveal the results of our efforts, it's clear that they were achieved through genuine commitment and discipline. This impact is often far greater than if we had sought validation along the way, as it reflects a level of maturity and purpose that commands respect. Mastering discipline in silence also gives us a profound sense of inner peace. Without the constant pull for validation or recognition, we're free to focus fully on the task at hand. This focus creates a sense of calm and satisfaction, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing we are doing the work for ourselves and no one else. We're no longer swayed by the opinions of others. Instead, we're driven by a deep, personal commitment to our own growth and success. This inner peace becomes a source of strength, reminding us that we are capable of achieving anything we set our minds to, regardless of the obstacles we encounter or the pace at which we progress. Discipline mastered in silence is a powerful force that shapes us into resilient, focused individuals who are capable of reaching extraordinary heights. Working hard in silence brings a sense of clarity and peace that enables us to focus deeply on our goals without the distraction of external opinions, judgments, or comparisons. When we keep our ambitions private, we create a space that allows us to explore our potential without interference, focusing solely on our own progress. This quiet approach gives us the freedom to assess our strengths acknowledge our weaknesses, and understand our aspirations without the pressure to perform or prove ourselves to others. Silence acts as a filter, keeping out the noise of expectations that can cloud our vision. In this quiet, we're better able to hear our own voice, to understand what drives us and what we're truly aiming for. This clarity is invaluable as it keeps us grounded and focused on the tasks that genuinely matter rather than those that merely look impressive to others. Silence also protects our energy, allowing us to direct it purposefully toward the work that matters rather than spreading it thin in an effort to maintain appearances. When we're not caught up in sharing every step of our journey, we're able to conserve the energy that might otherwise be spent seeking approval or validation from others. This conserved energy can be redirected toward deep, focused work, the kind of work that produces real, lasting results. Every bit of progress, no matter how small, contributes to our goals without the need for external acknowledgement. We can move at our own pace, focusing on quality over quantity and creating something substantial and meaningful rather than something that's just attention grabbing in the short term. By working quietly, we cultivate a mindset that prioritizes inner satisfaction over external approval, allowing us to find joy and fulfillment in the work itself. In this silence, we become less reactive and more intentional with our actions. When we're not constantly seeking input from others, we're able to make decisions based on our own insights and intuition rather than on the shifting opinions of those around us. This level of autonomy is empowering. It enables us to trust ourselves more deeply, to make choices that align with our values and vision. By tuning out the external noise, we give ourselves the mental space needed to make thoughtful, deliberate choices rather than impulsive or reactionary ones. This intentionality not only helps us stay on track, but also builds our confidence as we learn to rely on our own judgment rather than looking to others for guidance. We develop a stronger sense of purpose, a clear understanding of why we're pursuing our goals, which keeps us motivated and focused even when the path becomes difficult. Silence allows us to fully immerse ourselves in the present moment, engaging with our work in a way that brings out our best qualities. Without the distractions of social comparison or the need to impress, we're able to concentrate fully on what's in front of us. This deep focus fosters a state of flow, a mental state where we're so absorbed in the task that we lose track of time and perform at our peak. In this flow state, we're not only more productive, but also more creative and effective in our work. We're able to approach challenges with a clear mind, finding innovative solutions that we might have missed if we were preoccupied with external feedback. This presence and focus lead to a more fulfilling and enriching experience as we become fully engaged with our work, connected to each step of the journey. The clarity gained from working in silence also helps us stay resilient when faced with obstacles. When we have a clear sense of our purpose, we're better able to handle setbacks without losing sight of our end goal. Instead of getting discouraged or distracted by criticism or doubt, we remain focused on the path we've chosen. This resilience is rooted in the confidence that comes from knowing our intentions, from understanding that the work we're doing is meaningful and aligned with our true aspirations. We're less affected by the opinions of others, more able to tune out negativity and stay committed to our goals. This inner strength becomes a powerful ally, helping us overcome challenges with a sense of calm and determination, trusting in our own abilities to push forward. Working in silence also encourages us to take full responsibility for our progress. When we're not constantly sharing updates, we have no one to answer to but ourselves. This independence fosters accountability as we come to realize that our success or failure is determined solely by our own efforts and decisions. In this space, we learn to embrace our journey fully, taking ownership of each step, each achievement, and each setback. This responsibility strengthens our commitment as we're not relying on others to keep us motivated or on track. Instead, we become our own source of accountability, driven by a desire to reach our goals for ourselves, rather than for anyone else's approval. Ultimately, working hard in silence brings a sense of clarity that enriches every aspect of our journey. This clarity allows us to stay true to our vision, to remain undeterred by external pressures, and to find satisfaction in the work itself. It's a mindset that's built on trust in our own abilities, our decisions, and our path. This clarity acts as a compass, guiding us through each challenge with a sense of purpose and resolve. In this silence, we come to understand that the most rewarding accomplishments are those we achieve not for applause or recognition, but because they are deeply meaningful to us. When you work hard in silence, the power of your actions speaks louder than any words you could ever say. There is an undeniable strength in choosing to let your results reveal your commitment and dedication, rather than relying on constant self-promotion or external validation. This quiet resolve creates a lasting impact as it allows your work to stand for itself. People often overlook the quiet achievers not because their work isn't extraordinary, but because they do not seek the limelight. However, when the time comes to showcase their accomplishments, they do so with a level of authenticity and credibility that is undeniable. There is something deeply compelling about a person who works relentlessly without the need for attention or approval, letting their efforts accumulate in the background until they manifest into something undeniable. In choosing to work in silence, you give yourself permission to remain patient, understanding that true success takes time to build. You're not rushing toward recognition or validation. Instead, you're putting in the necessary hours, consistently showing up, and honing your skills. The process becomes more important than the outcome, because the real reward is in the growth and mastery that happens along the way. Each day of hard work builds not just your results, but your character and your resilience. By working quietly, you cultivate a mindset that values the journey as much as the destination, focusing on personal growth and development rather than external expectations. The act of working silently also allows you to protect your energy. When you're not distracted by the need to constantly update, share, or seek approval, you're able to conserve your focus and attention for the task at hand. This energy is channeled into productive, meaningful work that moves you closer to your goals. Without the constant need for acknowledgement, you're able to sustain your energy over the long haul, ensuring that your commitment remains strong even when the path gets tough. This level of focus gives you an edge, allowing you to keep pushing forward even when others might burn out or lose their motivation. Silence acts as a buffer against the noise of the world, helping you keep your mind sharp and your intentions clear. Working in silence also builds a strong sense of self-reliance. Without external praise or recognition, you learn to validate your own efforts, finding fulfillment in the progress you make for your own sake. This internal validation is the key to long-term success because it allows you to continue on your journey even when the external world may not notice or appreciate your efforts immediately. You begin to understand that the value of your work is not determined by how much attention it gets, but by the satisfaction and meaning it brings to your life. This self-reliance fosters confidence and independence, teaching you to trust your own instincts and decisions without seeking approval from others. As you continue to work in silence, you also build a level of mastery that's difficult to achieve when you're constantly seeking attention. Without the distractions of external validation, you can fully immerse yourself in your craft, refining your skills and expertise in ways that would not be possible if you were focused on proving yourself to others. Mastery takes time, and when you're not concerned with the opinions of the outside world, you can truly dedicate yourself to the process of improving and evolving. Each step you take in your journey becomes a deliberate action toward mastery, with every challenge you face teaching you valuable lessons that enhance your capabilities. Silence also allows you to stay grounded, keeping your ego in check and your focus on what truly matters. When you're not constantly seeking the approval of others, you're able to remove the distractions that can inflate your sense of self. This humility is key to maintaining a strong work ethic, as it reminds you that success is not just about recognition, but about the value you bring to your work and the impact it has on others. By working quietly, you prevent the ego from taking control, ensuring that your actions are motivated by purpose and passion rather than desire for external validation. In time, the results of working in silence become undeniable. When you're finally ready to share your achievements, they speak for themselves, often with more weight and substance than those who have been seeking balance. The quiet achiever's success is often more impressive because it comes from a place of dedication, perseverance, and authenticity rather than from the desire for applause. This authenticity resonates deeply with others, as it shows that success wasn't handed to you or sought out for recognition. It was earned through hard work and focus. When the time comes to reveal your accomplishments, they are received with a sense of respect and admiration because they were built with integrity and commitment. Ultimately, working hard in silence allows you to achieve success on your own terms. You're not driven by the desire to impress others or gain recognition. Instead, you are motivated by a deep commitment to your craft and your goals. This quiet dedication allows you to remain focused on what truly matters, ensuring that your efforts are meaningful and fulfilling. The results of your hard work are often more impactful because they are born from a place of genuine passion When they come to fruition, they carry the weight of everything you've quietly brought along the way. Thank you.